Hi everyone, for today's video we will discuss about the basketball. So the basketball is built into the fabric of Springfield College, and the game was invented by Springfield College instructor and graduate student James Naismith in 1891. James Naismith was a Canadian-American physical educator, physician, Christian chaplain, sports coach, and inventor of the game of basketball. And after moving to the United States, he wrote the original basketball rulebook and founded the University of Kansas basketball program. It was the winter of 1891 to 1892 inside the gymnasium at Springfield College, located in Springfield, Massachusetts. A group of restless college students and a young man were required to participate in indoor activities to burn off the energy that had been building up since their football season had ended. And the gymnasium class offered them activities such as marching, calisthenics, and apparatus work, but these were pale substitutes for the more exciting games of the football and lacrosse they played in the warmer seasons. James Naismith, a second-year graduate student who had recently been appointed a physical education instructor back then, and he took up a teacher's challenge to develop a game that would keep the pupils active in the winter months. And the 30-year-old Canadian native drew on his knowledge of rugby, lacrosse, and the childhood game known as duck on a rock, which is combined tag with throwing to dream up a new sport. And on December 21, 1891, Naismith cleared the athletic equipment off the gymnasium's wooden floor and picked up a soccer ball. He asked a janitor for 2 square boxes, but the best the custodian could do was a pair of peach baskets, which Naismith mounted to the lower rail of the gym's balcony about 10 feet off the ground. And the only rule Naismith gave to the boys was to get the soccer ball into the bottom of the peach basket, from which it was retrieved by the students in the balcony. And the lack of guidelines, however, soon proved problematic. And so the boys began tackling, kicking, and punching in the clinches. And before Naismith could pull them apart, one boy was knocked out, and several of them had black eyes, and one had a dislocated shoulder. And in the 1939 broadcast, Naismith said that the game may have been rough, but it was fun. After the first match, I was afraid they'd kill each other, but they kept nagging me to let them play again, so I made up some new rules, Naismith recalled. And the physical education instructor sat down and devised 13 rules for his invention and gave them to his secretary to type up onto 2 pages, which he posted in the gym. And in spite of students' suggestions that he called the game Naismith Ball, the modest inventor gave the sport a 2-word moniker, basketball. And in an article that ran in the January 15, 1892 edition of the Triangle, which was distributed to the YMCAs around the country, Naismith detailed his 13 rules for a new game of ball that calls for physical judgment and coordination of every muscle and gives all-around development. And in 1898, Naismith was hired as the first men's basketball coach at the University of Kansas. And ironically, he is the only men's coach in the program's history to have a losing record. And during his tenure, he saw his 13 rules begin to evolve, and the bottoms were eventually cut off, the peach baskets to make them hoops, and free throws ultimately gained them favor to become part of the game. And then dribbling was introduced in 1901, and while Naismith initially wrote the team sizes could range from 3 to 40 players, depending on the size of the floor space, 5-player squads became the norm. So Naismith's 13 original rules. So first, the ball may be thrown in any direction by one or both hands. Second, the ball may be batted in any direction with one or both hands, but never with the fist. Third, a player cannot run with the ball. The player must throw it from the spot on which he catches it, and allowance to be made for a man who catches the ball when running, if he tries to stop. Fourth, the ball must be held by the hands. The arms or body must not be used for holding it. Number 5, no shouldering, holding, pushing, tripping, or striking in any way the person of an opponent shall be allowed, and the first infringement of the rule by any player shall count as a foul, and the second shall disqualify him until the next goal is made, or if there was evident intent to injure the person for the whole game, no substitute is allowed. Number 6, a foul is striking at the ball with a fist, violation of rules 3, 4, and such as described in rule number 5. 7, if either side makes 3 consecutive fouls, it shall count a goal for the opponents. Consecutive means without the opponents in the meantime making a foul. 8, a goal shall be made when the ball is thrown or batted from the grounds into the basket and stays there, and providing those defending the goal do not touch or disturb the goal. And if the ball rests on the edges and the opponent moves the basket, it shall count as a goal. 9, when the ball goes out of bounds, it shall be thrown into the field of play by the person first touching it. And in case of a dispute, the umpire shall throw it straight into the field, and the thrower in is allowed 5 seconds. If he holds it longer, it shall go to the opponent. And if any side persists in delaying the game, the umpire shall call a foul on the team. 10, the umpire shall be the judge of the men, and shall note the fouls and notify the referee when 3 consecutive fouls have been made. And he shall have the power to disqualify men, according to rule number 5. 11, the referee shall be the judge of the ball, and shall decide when the ball is in play in bounds to which side it belongs, and shall keep the time. And he shall decide when a goal has been made, and keep account of the goals with any other duties that are usually performed by the referee. 12, the time shall be 2 15-minute halves with 5 minutes rest between. And lastly, the side making the most goals in the time that shall be declared the winner. And in case of a draw, the game may be by mutual agreement, can be continued until another game or goal is made. Basic skills in basketball. We have the rebound, the process of controlling missed shots on both the offensive and defensive ends. Key facet of acquiring and maintaining possession, which can subsequently give your team more offensive chances. Then we have passing. Is the other option to move the ball around the court outside of dribbling. A team that has good passers can create easy scoring chances for their teammates, leading to more points. Then we have the defense. It is the skill that involves the most effort and athleticism, so the goal is to prevent the other team from getting good scoring chances. And without proper defense, a team will never win basketball games. Then we have the dribbling. It is a process by which a player has to move the basketball around the court, and this is done by continuously bouncing the ball between the player's hand and the floor. A player cannot walk around the court holding a ball, or this will be deemed as traveling violation. We have the shooting. It is the main skill that directly involves scoring points, whether a player shoots a layup, mid-range shot, or a three-pointer. Next is basketball equipment and materials. So for our basketball court, the playing floor surface is made of either wood or maple, and it has to be flat and rectangular in shape. And the court is a flat, hard surface, free from obstructions. It is 28 meters long and 15 meters wide, measured from the inner edge of the boundary line. And the next one is the ball. It is the most visible equipment in the game of basketball. And there are different types of basketball used in different leagues. And it is usually made of leather, rubber, or any synthetic material, but it has to be inflated properly. The Next one is the whistle. In basketball, whistles are only used by referees and are used to signal the start of play, end of the play, a foul, or a timeout. The referee may also use the whistle to give short notice before a dead ball period ends, such as to break the teams up from their huddle during a timeout. So next is the scoreboard. Scoreboard displays the time left in the period and running scores of both teams. And a scoreboard can be either digital or manual. A scoreboard is a large board for publicly displaying the score in a game. And most levels of sport, from high school and above, use at least one scoreboard for keeping score, measuring time, and displaying statistics. Then we have the player's uniform. So it consists of jersey, preferably sleeveless, shorts, and shoes. And all teams wear their own specific uniform. And then we also have protective gears and accessories. So the first is the goggles, and these are used for protecting against eye injuries. Then we have the face mask. It is used to help protect the affected area and avoid another hit. And then we also have mouth guards. It is worn to protect the teeth and gums. So mouth guards are worn to absorb the impact of an accidental hit to the face. And then we also have knee pads. It is used to absorb impact from the high-speed collisions on the court that can result in bruises, abrasions, or even broken bones. And then the headband. It is used to absorb the sweat from their forehead. And then we also have arm sleeves. It is used to provide compression that reduces swelling. It also increases blood flow and reduces fatigue.